Welcome back, all. So, the very first thing that we're going to need to do is set our environment up. In a sense that we need an integrated development environment where we will actually do the code, where we will actually create the code, not do the code. Oh, updates were installed. Lovely sounds from Windows. Anyway, I've decided to actually go with code blocks. I did go with Eclipse first because I usually use Eclipse, but in the end I decided to go with code blocks primarily because it is simpler for you. With Eclipse, you download the Eclipse and then you download the compiler separately, and then you have to link the compiler in Eclipse, which is, I mean, it's doable, but you need to pass some additional flags, etc. No big deal, but it can get a little bit complicated, and things do tend to break from time to time. One of the things that I would like to do here is switch over to CodeBlocks, and CodeBlocks actually comes with a compiler, which is very nice because you can just download the development environment and the compiler, and most of the code we should be able to write like this without bigger difficulties. There are some, of course, additional setups and flags and customization that you will need to do to this IDE, but don't worry about those. Just go one tutorial at a time. Don't skip anything, and I will show you where to make where the modifications need to be made, because I don't want to make all the modifications now and just do the code. Rather, instead, when we come to the point of time in the code where a certain thing needs to be enabled or a certain flag needs to be passed, then we do it and we know exactly for which segment of the code did we do what. Okay, very well then. Let me just go ahead and expand my virtual machine to full screen, and this should suffice. Excellent. I am running a virtual machine, as I said in the intro, but you can run a PC. No need for virtualization. Just use your standard regular Windows PC, and that's it. Why am I running a virtual machine, if you ask me? Well, because I run Linux mainly. I don't use Windows almost at all. This is the first time that I've used it in a while, and I've just created a VM for myself of Windows 10, placed it here on my Linux, and created a box for it, and now it's up and running. If you're also wondering, I'm not using VirtualBox like in the previous tutorials, because this virtualization I'm primarily doing for myself. So I'm using Virt Manager with KVM. It is more complex than VirtualBox, can give you a headache from time to time, but that's what I use for my own personal things, for virtualization, development environments, etc. VirtualBox, that's more for the learning process, stuff like that. Anyway, go ahead and open up your favorite web browser. I like Firefox. Across all of my devices, Firefox shines. I've already installed code blocks here, downloaded it from the net, and did some trial runs with the code on this particular virtual machine. Things seem to have worked out rather well. So all you need to do is type in code blocks. It says here code blocks. The very first link should be code blocks. Go ahead and click on it and start looking. So home, features, downloads. Go into downloads. And then it says download the binary release, download the nightly build. Let's see what it says. There are more recent so-called builds in the forums. Okay, so this is not really interesting to us. This is for Linux, but we're developing code for Windows at present, so we are not going to go ahead and do that. We'll need the first one, but let's just see what the other ones are. Retrieve source code, download the source code. Okay, so you can even have a look at the source code of code blocks, if I am correct. Okay, so download the binary release. Thank you very much. And don't immediately jump up here. Rather, instead, just scroll down slowly. And it says Windows XP Vista 7, 8, and 10. Excellent. So this is the portion that we need here. It says here, setup access, setup, no, admin, no, setup, min. Let's just see which one is it. How do we figure that out? Well, we take a look up here. Note for older release. Okay, let's just click on this one. Let me throw it. Okay. 16.7 includes with all plugins, setup, no admin access provided for convenience. No administrator required. We are going to need the admin rights for certain things, so most likely. So we're definitely not taking that one. Let's just take a look at this one. The code blocks file includes additionally. Okay, so this is the one that we shall need. Edit convenience for users installer. Nope, this is the one that we're going to use. MinGW setup exe, and that is the one that we shall download. So you go on, you click on the sourceforge.net. I do believe that I have it downloaded here somewhere. It's in the downloads folder. So the download of code blocks will start in a couple of seconds here. You just go ahead and click on save file. The download should be fairly fast. The file is not that large. You can go ahead and open up your file manager now. Not twice like me. Go into the download section, and I got a lot of things here. So, yep, there we go. So code blocks, MinGW setup, and code blocks, MinGW setup. I actually have two of those here. All you need to do is basically just double click on it, click yes here, and it's coming about. No big deal. Welcome to the code blocks setup. So just go ahead and click on next. I agree. Leave all of these, let them go, and click on next. Destination, select this as the destination, and then click on install. And it's, for me, it says that the target directory does already exist. Okay, to continue anyways, if you're unsure and want to keep the folder, click no. So I'm just going to go ahead and click no, but for you, the installation will just go through, no problems. I honestly have never had problems with installing code blocks. Very simple. The compiler comes with it, and no problems there. Now, in the follow-up tutorial, I will show you how you can use code blocks, how you just to get some basic orientation down right, so that you know how to create a project, how to open up a project, and generally how to use code blocks as your coding environment. Bid you farewell, and we'll see you in the follow-up tutorial.